Hold on. There we go.
I'm here. I just don't. Okay. I see you.
Okay, say something. Click that link, Mom. Just do while visiting the app.
There I am. Hi.
Let me see what you got. Okay, so hold on.
Set the camera for you.
Put in Angel's Vintage Dolls. That's what they're gonna see when you come on.
Okay.
Push Enter Studio.
Okay.
Let me see.
Ooh.
It's a lot of reverb.
I just shut it off. So there should not be any reverb now.
All right. Yes.
Ooh. Hold on, we're too close to each other. Try it now.
All right. Let me see.
You have to turn your volume down just a little. All right, how's that?
All right. Come in.
Come closer.
Yeah. Because all I really need on yours is for the video to show. So you could actually mute your mic.
Okay, hang on.
All right, now come closer.
Okay, that's what it was my mic.
All right.
I knew there was a really bad reverb.
Okay.
What about sis?
No, she won't. I won't need her to be.
See, I'm not seeing any comments or anything. I don't see this place unless I go maybe to chat.
Yeah, click chat.
Comments.
Yeah, there you are.
So I can go, but see, I can't see the live stream then.
Just push connect. Yeah. Because you're showing on, it shows on mine. So go ahead and back out of that. Just push back. All right, now. All right, there you go.
So everyone can, you're in the show, so everyone can see and hear you.
Yeah.
But I can't see comments or anything, so I can't help you out with that. That's not gonna. How about we push more? Try this.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll be able to see where you're pointed from my phone.
Okay.
So No, you just backed out all of it.
Good. How do I get back in?
Hold on. Middle button. Yeah, because you just come out of it too.
Okay, go back
Alright.
to. I'm gonna just go all the way. Okay, let me go back
Go
to
back
here.
to
YouTube. All right, and then Mother's Day special streaming live.
Yeah. Now you should be able to go back into comments and click that link again for me. All right, yeah.
Okay.
Pomp, I'm still planning on just starting at 2. We are trying to get Mom's phone connected so she can be up on StreamYard. That way she can be filming and you guys will actually be able to see what's going on. So,
Okay, there I am.
all right, now let me get you. Yeah, I saw. I accidentally. I pushed the
Okay.
wrong button. Okay, so, you're gonna have to
Oh,
mute
hang
your
on,
mic
hang
again.
on, hang on.
Okay, sorry guys. There we go. All right, so that's Mom.
Hi.
She's gonna be doing the filming and kind of back and forth helping me with the comments.
How am I gonna do that?
I'll have it on my phone. Just have my phone
Okay.
like this.
All right. If you would go in there.
And then we will point your phone around like this
Okay, I was gonna say.
so that we can. Or actually, we're gonna have to watch. I guess you can't flip yours either. So
No, I can't.
anyway, you're good.
So if I'm here.
Yeah, we'll get your phone pointed the right way. We're just working things out right now, guys. Can you hear me?
One. I gave you.
No, I forgot to get my pink one.
Put
Um,
your phone on the stand. Get ready.
I actually won't need my phone on that stand. Your phone is going to need to be on one of those because it's going to be doing the filming. I'm going to go get the doohickey. Guys, there is a thing called a doohickey and it's a phone stand. So if you hear me refer to that, I'm not being weird or forgetting what I'm trying to say.
It's the doohickey. It really is.
Yeah. So we'll get your phone set up like that, Mom. I'm going to run back and grab that other stand. Yeah, we'll need better lighting, definitely. So, guys, I'm going to leave this up because we finally got it running the right way. But you guys are welcome for the next 15 minutes or so. If you want to see it, it'll be about 15 minutes before we get started. He said he can see both of us.
Okay.
So, if you want to get yours set up.
Okay. I'm going to sit y'all down for a second.
Well, I good thing I don't plan on making a big batch of any of it. I should have picked up more potatoes.
That's okay. You said, there's actually several bags of potatoes down there, Cindy.
I know. I checked. I wish I'd have bought one.
Well,
That's
we're
okay.
good.
Because it's just going to be us.
Okay, so.
All right, if you will. Watch my phone. You can use my phone to set where yours is at.
Okay.
If you need to, you can turn mine sideways.
I won't be able to see comments if you do that.
Yeah, you will. Hold on. Actually, I think it's bigger like this.
I think it's better, yeah, straight up and down. For
Okay.
me anyway.
So yeah, you can use that
That's what I'm used looking
to
at.
check. This is mine, or this is your feed here.
Mhm.
So that's the one you'll need to watch to make sure you got your phone where it needs to be. I will be doing most of my work in this area
Oh,
here.
So when I'm looking in the camera, I'm
You need to be
actually
looking at the one that says Angels Vintage Dolls because that will tell you where your camera's pointed.
Yeah, and the other one is yours.
Is mine, yes.
And it's pointing at me.
Yes. Well, whenever I'm cooking, it'll be pointed at me. You'll be okay. I want to.
Yeah, okay. All right. So do I have to sit here and entertain these people?
No, all I want you actually to do is make sure your camera's pointed in the right direction. But if you want to sit there and entertain them, you can.
Well, they'll get awful bored and they'll leave if somebody's not here to talk to them.
Well, they know.
So,
I've got it set for 2, and
Yeah.
the people that are in there already know that we're just getting everything set up. So.
Okay, well, my magic bag is underneath the sink. Because I don't have any magic on me. You doing okay? And I pushed high, so where did mine? Where did my comment go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so whenever I comment on Bossy's food fight, that's actually Mom commenting, not Cindy. I don't know which light is above my head, but I always have a light above my head. That's really weird. Okay. Well, my watch is fast, I suppose. Because my watch says 3 minutes after, and that one says 7 minutes till. She's at 37%. Yeah, it's a good thing she's plugged in. Oh, my big coffee mug here. And see, and that is true. I do run on coffee and kisses. Yes, I whistle a lot.
You do.
You know why? Because I'm happy and because I can again. I used to not be able to whistle.
I need to get this overshirt off. And run upstairs and here in a minute and grab our other special guest.
Okay.
She won't. She said she's kind of tired, so she probably won't stay on very long. But
That's okay.
it'll be nice to have her in for a minute anyway.
Yep. She can
See
sit
my
down.
eye? Very good.
Yes, I can
All right.
actually, yeah, you're good because I can see you all the way down to the end of the counter.
Good, good.
And then you can see me
Yep.
in my pretty butterfly shirt.
We're gonna do this one a little bit differently since
Yeah.
we're gonna do this live. We'll do the prep work as we go along too.
That's
So,
fine.
I do want to grab a couple of things out real quick though. Like the garlic. Let's see.
Yeah, she's in my refrigerator. She's mhm.
I'm raiding Mom's refrigerator.
She is raiding my refrigerator.
Do we want to use this for pea sauce?
Yes,
Okay.
because that works really well. I'm not sure how
I couldn't
good.
find any of the little green onions,
That's
but
fine.
that's okay because we're not doing the potato salad anyway.
No, and taste her sour cream. I don't know if that's any good or not. That was here whenever you was here before.
Yeah, this stuff stays good for like ever.
Okay.
So,
And there might be little packs in there too.
which I don't absolutely have to have that. That's more like a thickener.
Okay.
We'll see how it progresses.
Alrighty. Yeah,
right.
just don't turn my oven on.
No, I'm not gonna turn your oven on. I don't need your oven.
I'm just saying because you put the cake in the oven.
I know. It would melt the plastic and burn your oven up. I'm not gonna do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know who I am. No need for introductions. We got just a few minutes and we will be getting started. So today we are going to do grilled steak, fried garlic potatoes, and cauliflower and cheese sauce. Not white cheese. Pomp doesn't like Alfredo sauce.
Oh, sis
So,
don't either.
I know.
I didn't know she didn't like Alfredo sauce.
So, and that didn't interrupt your feed, whatever that was. So guys, I will be right back. I'm going to go grab our other special guest. And then we'll get this shindig going.
Righty. She just walked away. Yes, she did. She just walked away. And she got the camera pointed up at my fan. Now you get to see them both walking in at the same time. You know, she's talking about, I'm a little bit confused here. Because she talked about grilling this meat. But I don't think she got the grill started.
Okay. So our other special guest is busy chatting to her darling dear. And we should
When do you want to start the grill?
I will hear this one. So hopefully we will start having people come back in here pretty soon. Like I said, I posted it for 2 o'clock. So that's when hopefully people will start showing up.
And you send out any invites to people?
I posted it, and then I've seen some of the I've seen some of the Me 6 things going off. So there's already been notifications sent out. Like I said, we are going to get started. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to go start the grill.
Okay.
So I'm going to take everybody out. If you want to come out with me, I'm going to take them outside.
Yeah, I thought we were using this one for your video.
Yeah. So I said, you want to come out with me?
Yeah.
So the first thing we're going to do is get the grill started. This one's going to be a little bit different, guys. Hopefully the wind won't interfere too much. the sun's gonna be kind of a banger. Yeah.
Let me turn mine around.
Well, not only that, but I think because I don't want to be standing in the sun the whole time, I'm gonna move that grill over here to the corner. I didn't think about that.
Well, I'm gonna have to move my bird feeders then. I'm gonna have to move this one. I will have to move this one.
We are gonna get the grill lit first. Once I get it into position.
Can't see what's going on because I'm not used to having my.
This is gonna be hot enough. Anyway, it's like 75 degrees out here. So, first thing you want to do. And I know that this might be counterintuitive, but I am not going to do anything with those grates until I get the fire started. Because the fire
will help bake them.
will help to bake them, and then I will be able to scrape and clean them, and then the fire will continue to do its work. So, I may regret not having one actual short.
I have some.
Yes.
Actually, Paul has some.
I was gonna say that'd be a better offer, Mom. I'm about twice your size, little lady.
I forget.
It's okay.
I do. I forget.
I think the last time I could actually wear a pair of your shorts, I was in 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah, I think so.
So
It's
these
been a
guys
while.
gonna watch me fumble with the charcoal bag here for a minute. Oh, we got anybody else joining us?
I do not see. Okay, Sarah is on. Pomp, are you still here with us? I see Sarah.
He probably is. Hi, Sarah. We are gonna do some grilling and chilling. So we've only got 4 steaks, guys, but the thing is they're pretty thick steaks,
They're
so
big.
they're gonna have to cook for a little while. So we want to make sure we get a good bed of coals, because the first thing you need to do to make a T-bone steak come out right on the grill is you need to get that grill hotter than Hades. I mean, you gotta hear that as soon as you set the meat on the grill. So I probably go a little overboard, but I like fire too, so never hurts to have a little extra.
No.
There. Now, if I had what they call a barbecue chimney, I would not worry about using lighter fluid. I love a barbecue chimney, but I forgot to bring mine up because I wasn't sure what we were going to do today. So, it happens. We want to get a bed of coals going. But to get the heat we're going to need and to be able to sustain it, we're going to have a fairly large fire.
Okay, so your clicker is in the kitchen the drawer next to the dishwasher.
Oh.
So if you want to go
get that because I don't want to stick my hand down in it.
No, and you might want to grab one of my hair clips. She got some pretty long hair. And I mean pretty long hair.
Mom, you can point that phone at you, right? My phone, so they can actually see you.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah, I might want to put my hair up too. Didn't think about that, but see all this hair would be like.
Because this one is actually pointed at me, and this one's pointed at you. Here, take my clip out of my hair, babe.
I don't need it. I got mine.
Okay.
There we go. I don't want to burn my hair off either.
No, we don't want to do that.
Now, Kingsford is the best you can get in America. So it doesn't normally take a whole lot of lighter fluid. But the trick with this is you got to let the lighter fluid kind of soak in a little bit. That way, whenever you light it, it don't just burn off the top of the charcoal. It actually starts the charcoal in its ashing process. Ashing, not assing. You want to make sure you got a good set of tongs.
Oh, and I've got more. You know, I have more.
I bought those because I didn't like yours last time.
Okay.
You guys don't grill a whole lot. I do. I'm kind of picky about mine. And you want a grill scraper. And I know everybody tells these horror stories about these metal bristled grill scrapers and it getting in the food and stuff like that, but not if you do it like I do. Because fact of the matter is here in a minute, I'm going to go in and I'm going to get a moist towel. And I'm going to get a little bit of oil. And what I'm going to do is when I get it scraped down, I'm going to take the moist towel and I'm going to wipe it off. Then I'm going to take a paper towel with a little bit of oil and I'm going to oil my grill. Once you do both of those things, your grill is going to be clean.
Good to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you clean it every time you use it and you don't let buildup get on it, you're not going to have anything on it to catch those metal bristles and pull them out anyway. So.
My bristle,
and that's pretty new.
Actually, no, but it doesn't
It's
shed.
sturdy, though.
Yeah, it does not shed.
I don't know what kind it is. I would probably never use the steamer part of it. Oh, Grill Daddy. Anyway, I'd probably never use the steamer part of it because, like I said, I usually scrape mine after I'm done anyway, so there's not usually any buildup when I come back to it. But that is some of the sturdiest bristles I've ever seen on.
Yeah, we've had that one since we had got the grill.
All right, so now that I've prattled on for about 5 minutes here, talking about various different things, that should be ready to light. Now, watch me not be able to figure out how to light it.
Push the button.
Oh, push.
Yeah, there you go.
Slide, push. Okay. All right. Now, I usually light mine in a couple of different places. You probably don't have to, but to me, it seems like it burns evenly that way.
It works better.
Because you don't have the fire starting in just one spot and then burning across. You have it kind of doing this. Cindy, keep the lighter off of there.
Yeah.
All right, now we are going to put the grill plates back on.
Okay, I'm going to move.
Yeah. You might want to come over to this side, man.
I did.
Put the grill plates back on. Please don't yell at me because I'm not wearing it. I normally would. Promise.
Why?
Because I should probably show my audience to do it the right way, not my way. As Johnny would say.
Okay.
I wonder if that old man's still alive.
I don't know.
Oh, he was the best teacher I ever. Best teacher as far as cooking I ever.
Okay. Yeah, we're being entertained here. There we go.
Now,
it's gonna die down.
We're gonna go inside for a second because I need to get something to drink. So you guys might notice the wind's kind of blowing one direction. That is what your vents here are for.
That's what country living.
Up top is for is to regulate your smoke and heat. Less air, less heat. More air, more heat. We all know how fire works. All right, Mom, you want to come here just real quick?
All
right. So I want to show you guys.
There you go. She's got that.
Can you see it?
Don't get my phone too close.
What I wanted to see is it's already starting to turn white. It's already starting to ash a little bit around the edges.
Yeah, we can see that.
So that generally means that you did good.
Yes.
You did good, Padawan. You did good. So I gotta have my Star Wars references every now and then. At least I'm not doing Chewbacca impressions.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
I sound like Chewbacca with strep throat.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Well, earlier there was a live going, and I was in on it. I didn't get a chance to say anything because I was driving down the road while I was listening to it. But they have an argument about Indiana Jones. And
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Then it kind of goes to Star Wars and back and forth, and I'm just a fan of all of those.
Right.
I grew up on that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so I know it is. Do you want to push this button and get it out of my way?
The share referral link,
Yeah.
I have tried. I cannot move that,
Okay.
unfortunately. And that's why I said last time I was live, I couldn't move it. So the last comment, I usually can't see the whole thing until it comes up one.
Okay, so you've got 3 people on, which is me, Sarah, and Pomp.
Cool. Well,
That's-
hopefully more will join us.
That's who you have on.
Unfortunately, I did not realize we'll be going up against another good team. Well, we'll be going up against the Premier, but hopefully more people will join us, and if not, we're still gonna have fun.
That's right. Because
So,
we are cooking Mother's Day dinner.
yes. So we're gonna go ahead and prep and clean the cauliflower right now.
Yeah, because it really needs to be cleaned.
Well, not only that,
It's been in my fridge for a while, guys. So we're actually putting together a
I
Mod
was trying to
Podge.
explain something. That should take us to the point where we're ready to deal with our grill again.
Right?
And yes, this does need to be used.
Yes, it does.
And since you wanted cheesy cauliflower, we're gonna do cheesy cauliflower.
Easy cauliflower.
Yep.
Yeah.
So everybody says wash your vegetables before you start cutting into them. Bad thing is cauliflower is so tightly packed that if there's anything in there, you're not gonna get it out before you start cutting into it anyway.
No.
So how I usually do it is I go in with a good sharp knife. I cut the stem off. I stick it right down the middle, cut one side, and break it apart.
There you go.
That's how I start prepping my cauliflower. And some people like little pieces. Me, I like the bigger pieces. So I'm hearing some crickling and crackling going on. It sounds like our grill is doing really, really well. Now we need a bowl. And I forgot to get a bowl. So here we go. Alright, bowls. So we're gonna do some roasted, or not roasted, we're gonna do some fried potatoes. I'm gonna use the small red ones. Actually, no, they're the small yellow ones. We're gonna chunk those, and we are going to fry those with a little bit of garlic and butter. Now, I just kind of break the big pieces apart. Like I said, this is just the first preparation. I want to be able to rinse them off,
Clean them up.
get them cleaned up, and all that. So we're just gonna. Hey, where'd it go? Escape. Anybody who knows the Disney movies knows who said that.
What? Escape?
Uh-huh. You don't? My. Disgraceful. Just absolutely disgraceful. That might have been a little blue fish on a Disney movie.
You toasted.
And it's probably a good thing I don't get my live monetized. Although, I mean, it's kind of like free advertisement for them. Because I talk about them.
Yeah.
But you know how that goes.
Yep.
Some people don't, like free advertisement. Although, actually, I don't think it would fall under that because I'm not using any of their music, any of their images, or even reciting any of the real lines. So,
No. Mm-mm.
Hopefully not. If so, oh well. So, hopefully, you guys are all doing well. It is Mother's Day here in the States. Anybody on right now who is a mom, even if it's not Mother's Day where you're at, happy Mother's Day anyway. You beautiful, beautiful people.
Yeah, so we still have, we have Stay Tuned CC on.
Hi, Bill. How are you? I like him. He's really good. You need to check out some of his music sometime. I know that's not really your genre. It wasn't mine, but then I started listening to Phil, and I'm like, that good music is good music.
Right. So is it, what country is it from? What origin is it from?
It's all English speaking music. It's not, I really don't know how to describe it. It just is like this melody, and you just like, you ride it like a ship.
Okay.
I mean, it just is.
Okay. All right.
It's one of them music. It's the type of music that just is. There's no definition, no defining. It just is, and it's good.
Okay.
So,
Well, Phil says he's awake. And
Well-
Pomp says that's a start.
Phil, I'm running on caffeine right now, man. I think it was. I get you, because I think it was probably I don't know, midnight, 1 o'clock before I really got to bed last night. Before I got to sleep.
Mm.
Yeah. I even tried putting on some really boring history documentaries, which, by the way, I should never do again. I like history too much for any of it to be boring. So I think if I have trouble sleeping tonight, it'll probably be like I'll find some documentary about the evolution of mathematics or something. So we've got our cauliflower cut. Like I said, first prep. I like to keep them in big sections. We're going to go let this, I'm going to put it in the water, and then I'm going to let it sit for a little while, because a lot of times with stuff like this, broccoli, leafy greens, if they're fresh, the longer you put them into the water and you swish them around a little bit and just let them sit for a minute, and all that stuff will float
Float
and
to
come
the
out.
top. Yes.
So
yeah.
just when you deal with fresh vegetables like these, like I said, broccoli, leafy greens like your lettuce, your kale, romaine lettuce, stuff like that, swish it around in there and then kind of let it sit for a minute. And then when you pull it out, swish it around again, pull it out, dump the water, and rinse again.
Yep.
Then, if you're that particular about it, you'll know you got most of the stuff out.
Plus, I have a colander that you can use to
Yeah.
dump it in.
We're going to steam it anyway, so.
Well, I just meant to dump it in and to rinse it, put it
Yeah.
back in the bowl. That
We're
way you
gonna-
can dump it completely out.
So, if anybody missed it, we're doing cauliflower with cheese sauce, steamed cauliflower with cheese sauce, which I will probably serve as a side because not everybody likes cheese sauce on their cauliflower.
We're also going to do the corn, but we're just going to cook the corn.
Well, we're going to kind of saute the corn a little bit with some butter and pepper.
Well, because Paul likes corn on the cob,
So why don't we just do corn on the cob?
we can do that, and then
I mean,
I
So,
can do mine my own
we're
way.
basically just cooking dinner here. So I cook a lot, and I usually cook when I come up here. So when I do, I go through Mom's refrigerator and I try to find anything that is close to needing to be used or needs to be used, and I try to cook it. The corn on the cob.
So I
is
said a
still-
Mod Podge.
Excuse me, that went down wrong. So the corn on the cob is still good, but by the time I get back up here, if she doesn't cook it, which she probably won't, it won't be. So we're gonna go ahead and cook it today. So we got the potatoes, we got some cauliflower, we're gonna do some corn on the cob.
Actually,
we
if
got
you
some
wasn't-
grilled steaks going on.
If you wasn't going to cook it today, I was going to cook it today, or wait till tomorrow and have it with my other stuff.
Now,
but
I am
there's
gonna-
plenty.
I do want to show you guys one thing. If you're squeamish about raw meat, please look away. So what I've got here is I've got our steaks. They were frozen. I would have preferred fresh, but the frozen's good. This is good meat. I know where it came from, and I know it was freshly cut before they froze it.
Yep.
I'm letting it rest to room temperature because, as you can see, or hopefully you can see, these are about an inch and a half thick T-bone. This is a very thick bone-in steak. They take longer to cook, unless you're me and you like them to basically moo at you as they bring it to your table.
I used
So-
to, but it's easier for me to eat if it's cooked just a little bit longer.
Well, that's true. And again, if you let it come to room temperature, especially if you like a rare steak, one, it's not going to hurt it. Two, it won't take as long for the interior to come to the proper temp without actually being cooked. Because you want a hot steak in the middle. You don't want it cold. Got any comments, dear?
Sarah said, looking away.
I will try anytime I'm messing with stuff like raw meat. I know it's one of the things that some people they're okay with it. Some people it's like, oh.
I know,
So,
right?
I
Sarah
always
said,
try.
looking away.
I always try to warn. So anyway,
Yep.
that's why we've got them out on the counter. That's why they're resting to room temperature, is because only one of these steaks is going to be well done. It will go on first. The rest of them will go on afterwards because that's, we want them all to come off at the same time. So you put your
Yes.
longest cooking piece of meat on first, then you put your, shorter times. So what we're going to do now,
Do we need to?
because I don't need to cut the potatoes. I'm not going to cut the potatoes until I'm ready to put them in with the garlic and the salt and pepper
Okay.
and start frying them.
Okay.
Because what I'll probably do with these,
Just wash them and do them.
Yeah. so
Okay.
these are the little yellow potatoes.
Yep. They don't take much.
They're kind of like the Yukon Gold. They don't take a whole lot to fry. They've got a nice flavor. The skin's real thin, so I'll probably just leave the skin on because honestly,
like
with a
skin on.
potato, well, with a potato, that's where most of your vitamins and minerals are too. Your interior is mostly starch.
Right.
That's good. You need starch. You need the carbohydrates, the starch, the sugars. But if you want the real nutritional value of a potato, you'll leave the skin on.
Yes. Exactly.
With your red russets, it's a little harder to do though because they've got elephant skins. Their
Oh.
skins stick like elephants. All right, so let's go take a gander at our grill, guys. Mom, you want to follow me?
No.
Oh, come on now. Now, my other special guest will be down here in just a little bit. She was talking to a friend of hers. So, whoa. Yeah. No, in this case, smoke follows weird. Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely gonna have to bring out the rag and get it oiled up. It's not quite ready yet though, guys. So that scraping sound you hear is me scraping the grill, literally. There's nothing wrong with my phone yet. If it keeps acting the way it's been acting the last couple of days, it might get a foot in it. Well, I've had this phone for like 8 years. Because the new one I bought last year, I ran over. Literally, I ran over my phone last year. All right, now let's go. Wow. Okay, so guys, as you can see, the sun outside's really bright. So hopefully you understand you're just listening to me when I'm outside.
I was actually getting a good picture of you, so that was okay.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted your phone too, because you're actually getting good pictures of me. So basically, what we've got here is a situation where we've got 4 separate dishes actually, that are all going to take about the same amount of time.
That's why you have kitchen help.
Exactly.
At least one that does know how to cook.
Right. That's why I wanted our special guest to come down.
Yeah.
Because she knows how to cook.
As well. Whoa, wow, guys. Did you just hear that? Did you just hear that? Woo! Lordy, Lordy. Talk about throwing me under the bus. And this is Mama's Day.
It's her kitchen too. See how hungry I am?
I'm stink.
I'm a stinker.
I know you are, but you're mine, so.
All right, so what we're going to do.
The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree.
No. So when we do the potatoes, we're going to do some minced garlic, salt, pepper, olive oil. Again, we're going to wash them, leave the skin on. The steaks. Okay, so this might make me kind of unpopular, but those are good steaks. The only thing they're going to get is a little bit of salt. And then the hickory smoke from the grill.
That's fine with me.
I do not dress up. I do not over season. To me, beef has a fine flavor, and I like to taste it. So, no marinating, no special complicated stuff. Steak is steak.
And those don't need to be tenderized.
And those don't need to be tenderized either, because I'm telling you guys, it's hard to show you. But the marbling on these, which is really important to not only juiciness, but tenderness, the marbling on these is perfect. Not too much, not too little. Most of the fat has stayed around the outside. These are going to be
good cut. Good cut of steak.
They are good cut of meat. All right. So,
and those came from the meat market.
We are going to have to wait for a few more minutes for the grill to get ready, because I'm going to put the steaks on. I'm going to put Paul's on first. And then I'm going to come back in here and cut the potatoes
and then
get
put
them seasoned.
I don't know how sis likes hers cooked, but
for what?
For steak.
Oh, I do. Hers will go on a few minutes after Paul's.
Put mine on about the same time then.
Okay.
And but another minute or two after hers.
So you guys are also going to get to learn something. You're going to get to learn how to stagger a steak because I have 4 different steaks and they are all going to be cooked at 4 different temperatures. And no, I'm not going to use a thermometer. I'm going to show you how to do it. Show you how to do it without all that fancy stuff. It's called the touch test. Did you know that if you take your knuckle and you press down
When you get
on
blood
a
in that
steak
pan.
like this,
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to do it because they're raw.
Why not?
After they've cooked,
Beef doesn't hurt you.
you see how it kind of bounces back up like that?
Yep.
That is the same kind of indication you're going to get from a rare steak. It's going to come back up like that. The more you cook it, the faster it rebounds.
Really?
I'll show you with Paul's later.
Okay.
When his gets almost done, I'll show you how you can do the touch test. And it's pretty accurate. I mean,
Okay.
you do need to know your cook times. For steaks like this, instead of it being like let's see, for well done on a 1-inch steak, it's 8 minutes per side. Medium is 6.5, and that last 30 seconds is important. For a rare, it's 5 or less. It's the in-betweens that can get people, and it's that mid-well and mid-rare that I can actually achieve. But again, that's where letting your steak rest to room temperature also will give you better control over your cook times.
Right.
Oh, thought my what? My daughter? Yeah, she should be in. I think that's stupid thing where the referral link is at. I hate that. All right, so I need to get. I need a pan.
4.
See, I'm gonna need 2 of them. I'm gonna need one for the corn, and I'm gonna need one for the cauliflower. We can go ahead and get our pans started. So I know that there are there's a team going on with a premiere. I'm not rushing into this right now because I kind of want to give a chance for everybody to get here. And I did go live a little bit early, Pump. You know the reason I did that though was to get Mom on and get our stuff running.
Yeah, you were just wings.
Yes.
The cauliflower. There's a pan for that. The lid. And then
I just need to bring my pot for the corn.
yeah.
So while Mom is doing that, I am going to get a little bit of oil and I'm going to get a little bit of water, or actually a moist towel, to be able to clean and oil the grill with.
Corn.
Okay. Have you got an old towel?
Back in my shop area, at my workshop.
Okay. Well, I'm going to run back and grab one of those. I don't want to use one of your good towels to do the grill with.
So what are you doing?
We're just going to boil the corn. I'll use the frying pan, probably the cast iron, because I'm going to show them something else too. Yep. So, if everything works out right, I'll show you how to do some fried potatoes on the grill too. It's a way of not heating your house up, because it's like 75 degrees. I'm being attacked by a closet full of towels. Stay. I thought she said she had. Oh, there we go. So let's do a head count. Looks like we got 5 in. Who all's with us right now? I see Pomp and Sarah. Are you still here? Alright, so we're gonna get a wet towel. And this is where you probably really ought to have a pair of safety gloves, but I don't, so just use safety gloves. Don't do it like I did. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this towel that I've gotten moist. Well, actually I've gotten it wet. I'm going to roll it up real good. Make it look like this. And twist. I'm going to hold it back here. And I am very quickly, without touching the stupid thing, going to wipe down the grill. Oh, ho, ho. All right, it is definitely, Ma. Have you got your phone with you? Yeah, I want to show you guys this because the charcoal is now perfect for me to be able to shut the grill down and let it heat up.
I know you guys can see that.
Yep. So see how white that is? That's what you're wanting. So now we're going to shut the grill to kind of slow it from doing. And we're going to keep an eye on the thermometer because we want that grill.
Oh, look at it.
Yeah, it's climbing fast. We want that grill really hot. Really, really hot to begin with. Now that is also why there's a good thing that there's like a top rack in this grill, because if we have to, we can always move the steaks to the top rack if they're cooking too fast. Now I know a lot of people will tell you that you have to finish your steaks in the oven. BS.
Oops.
Oh yeah, there's a whole school of thought on that. That you gotta finish your steak in the oven. No, BS. I like, if I'm gonna finish my steak in the oven, I'm gonna start it in the oven. But I would never put a piece of beef in the oven like that. We are pump. Well, at least I know you wash your ass.
Alrighty then. Okay, I'm just making sure I have the camera. Let's put this back.
Now, with cauliflower, again, you don't have to do the whole complicated process because it's tightly packed and it is extremely rare for you to ever find any kind of dirt in good cauliflower. Now, if it's gotten past its ripeness and it's actually starting to flower, then you have problems. But we're going to break the cauliflower down real quick because it is almost time to put our first. Well, you said you were in the tub, Tom. So I'm just assuming you're taking a bath while you're in there. I mean, I could be wrong. Now, my daughter. Yeah, well, that makes an ass out of you and me both. My daughter does not like cooked cauliflower, so I am going to keep a few of these florets for her. She likes hers raw. So we're going to take a few of these and we're going to bust them off for her. Hopefully the little turkey comes down pretty soon. She's the one I went to graduation for Saturday. And she's the one that's going to be leaving out for the military. So I thought if she could join us, this would be a nice little hurrah. But either way, I get to spend the day with her, so. And she likes food, so once I get started cooking, pretty sure the smell will lure her down the stairs. Because she's like me. She likes her food. But she likes good food, not like crap food. So I'm not breaking them down real small. I'm just kind of taking them down to medium to small pieces. Some people keep the stems. I do not. I find that even after steaming, they are too tough on the outsides, and I'm not going to bother skinning the stems. So, and no, I'm not cutting myself. Sometimes I just grimace when I work. It's kind of like you got to hold your face right to make it happen right. That looks like people keep coming in and out, which I'm pretty sure it's because there's, like I said, there's a premiere going on right now, which I did not realize, or I probably would have started this about an hour later.
What kind of premiere?
The paranormal. They're a fairly popular team, so yep. But actually, usually on my live streams, I guess I have more people rewatching them than I do actually in this live stream.
Yeah.
But like I said, a lot of people I know are in the UK, so usually by the time I get to go live, it's almost bedtime for them.
Yeah, I always have to remember. Try to remember, like for my doll auction.
Yep.
Because I have people from the UK.
All right, so
the ones in Australia, so their time zone is totally different.
broccoli is ready. Cats are going outside. And I need to get a paper towel and a bowl of oil. Sorry, guys. Did I just say broccoli?
Yes,
I think I just
you
said
did.
broccoli. It's not broccoli, it's cauliflower. So cauliflower is ready. I got angels set aside. Got the cast iron skillet ready for the potatoes. We've got the steam pan ready for the cauliflower. We've got the water for the corn. Might as well turn the water for the corn and the cauliflower both on. And I am going to ow! I'm going to drop a pan on my foot. Is what I'm going to do. I did. So I'm going to transfer the steaks over to a bigger pan so that I can have access to both sides of them so I can get them salted. And I'm not going to point the camera at them. Oh, the other camera is pointed at them. Never mind. Sorry. Sorry. Didn't get a chance to warn anybody. Again, we're just going to salt these.
I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner on.
Yeah, for both of the waters, you have to turn the burner on for.
I'm going to turn the burner on also for the potatoes for low, so it can start warming up the iron stove. So it'll have even heat.
Yeah. That's another thing when you're working with cast iron. It's a good idea to preheat it just a little bit. Especially if you're working with an electric stove. It's not as bad if you're working on gas, but if you're on electric, that's it. Okay, so steaks are salted. And we are ready to go outside. Wait, we are not ready to go outside. We are almost ready to go outside. Got to get a bowl of oil and a paper towel. There it is. Alright, so we just do a little bit of oil in a paper towel. Pretty sure I'm talking to myself right now.
You think?
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm talking to myself right now. There's like 2 people watching.
Oh, okay. That's right.
And I'm pretty sure one of them's you.
Yeah, one of them.
But that's okay.
Yep.
Like I said, most of the time I get more on rewatch than I do on actual watching.
Mine.
Yeah. Alright, guys. We're going to go live dangerously again.
Which phone? You want me to bring mine?
Yeah.
Or are you going to use yours? No, you leave yours in here.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be holding that phone and trying to do that at the same time.
No, and I'm going to go ahead and plug mine back in too.
Yeah, go ahead.
That way it doesn't run out of battery. Alright, so we've got a paper towel, we've got our bowl of oil, we got our steaks.
Get out.
Now we're gonna grill. We're not leaving this in here. Yeah, I'll grab it.
All right. Says I may not cook,
No sound.
but you said you
Oh,
might
Sarah.
cook.
Okay. Can you hear me now, Sarah? I think I know what that is.
My
So,
phone is on mute.
yeah, Mom, when we go outside, if we just have your phone,
Yep.
we're going to need to unmute you. That's probably why, because I didn't take my phone out with me this time.
Sorry, guys. I didn't have both phones. If I would have had her phone, then I would have been able to, you guys would have been able to hear it. All right.
So-
Sorry about that, Joe.
Basically, the only thing I said out there was whenever I was oiling the grill, I made sure to oil both sides, even though I only have fire under one side. Because the other side, if they start cooking too fast, I can move them off the direct heat and onto the other side of the grill.
That was husband.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen him. He's a little ninja, comes in, grabs a snack, and boom, out the door. Gone. Now, this is the chill part of the grill. This is the part in between
It
having to
is
do
now
something.
2:45 exactly. So
Yes. We've been live for about an hour.
well, I'm just saying for your time,
Yes.
your steak time.
So it's going to be about 8 minutes per side for the steak that we've already got on. Because that one's going to be well done. Now me, again, I don't care if my steak moves at me when you bring it to my plate. or when you bring my plate to me. But mom likes hers about medium. Paul likes his well done, and my daughter likes hers kind of between medium and rare, and then I like mine rare. So when they're done, though, I will show you how to test a medium and a rare and a well without poking it with a thermometer and letting all the juice out.
Cutting half of it.
Yeah.
Cutting into it.
So I wonder if that's not why a lot of people, and this is just something, if you guys out there, you know, if you guys have run into this or if this is something you're familiar with, I think steaks intimidate a lot of people. I think they've become such a legend in the mind for most people that they don't realize just how simple it is to cook a good steak. I mean, really, it's not that hard.
If you have a good cut of meat, I think that's where a lot of people, they make the mistake of buying, like I have done. You buy the cheaper cut.
Yep. And that's fine if you're going to cook it in like a stew, or if you're going to fry it, like beat the crap out of it and make country fried steak.
Yep.
The first thing you need to do if you want a good steak is find
a good butcher.
Find a good butcher. Barring that, learn how to identify a good steak by its marbling. I can show you on the T-bone, Sarah, if you want to see. They are raw, so hold on, Mom.
I'm just going to show her.
So the marbling to the edge here, that's the fat ring. The marbling is these little areas of white inside the red. And those are just little slivers of fat throughout the meat. You do not want a whole lot of those. You do not want it over marbled, because then you're going to come up with a really fatty steak, and you're going to wind up paying a bunch of money for a fatty steak. This one,
plus they can be tough.
This one here has got a little better marbling, but all three of these steaks are going to be very tender.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said, I just add a little bit of salt to it. I think it enhances the flavor of the beef, but I don't want any other flavor but the beef and a little bit of hickory for my charcoal. So, I will be right back.
Hi.
You can look at my mom for a minute.
Hi. Oh, I think she's going to go see if Sis wants to come down. That's what I think. Now we have a dual screen going on here, so you're going to see like my hand over here and then my face over here. So
yeah, that's kind of funny, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is.
I know, it's a little odd. So we are going to step outside for a minute.
Okay.
Because while we're waiting on that, Sarah, you've never had a steak?
Really?
Well, if you will follow my directions, you now have access to steak anytime you want it, if you can get it, and you know how to cook it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, oh man, good steak is hard to beat. Beef is really, really high right now, so this isn't something that I would make a regular meal at this point. No, I'm just going to go sit outside for a minute and smoke a cigarette. While we're waiting, because until we put the other steaks on, and that's another thing, if you got steaks that are being cooked at different times and your side dishes are short cook time, put the side dishes on about the same time you put your shortest cook time steak on, and everything should come out about the same time. So that's why we're kind of waiting. That you can actually go ahead, if you want, put the corn in, because then it can just sit there in the warm water and the corn will get tender as it sits in the water. So if you want to go ahead and put it in and then let it come to a boil and shut it off.
Yeah, this is with this particular one, I don't hear my boil
right
on this particular burner.
Right.
So.
And then that's why I said with corn on the cob is one of them things that even if you just plunk it down into a pot of water that was boiling, you don't actually have to boil corn on the cob to cook it, people. Seriously, you don't. plunk it down into some salted buttered water and let it cook in hot water. So salt's fine. Butter, some people don't like the butter with water in, or water with butter in it. Some people do. Me, I prefer to put butter on it once it's done. So it's kind of bright out here. There we go. All right. See, this is my favorite summertime activity. I love to cook on the grill. I love to be outside. Nice days anyway. Now, I have gotten a little picky about my weather. I tend to hide inside if it's too hot or too cold, which for me, too cold is anything below like 70 degrees. It's ridiculous. I'm like a reptile. When I was a kid, I could go out and be outside all night or all day, never feel the cold. Now it's like, brr. What? Okay. If it's starting to look yucky, then I wouldn't. Well, this time of year, and this is bad, guys. It really is. This time of year, we're not getting local fresh vegetables, so they tend to go bad a little faster. So a chewy steak, if you want a steak, I can give you 3 cuts right off the top of my head that are good for steak. You've got your New York strip, your sirloin, your T-bone, and your ribeye. 4. I prefer mine thick cut. I prefer all of my steaks thick cut. But if you get one that's got a nice little bit of marble to it, and you're willing to spend just a little bit more, go for the good cut. It's going to be the star of your meal. It would have been like putting a nun on the stage in place of Cher. That's the best comparison for the difference between a good steak taking the show and a bad steak taking the show. Not that there's anything wrong with nuns, but they're not Cher. It wouldn't be what you'd expect to see at a Cher concert. You know, I can't stress the importance of making sure you've got a good steak. And then you don't want to overcook it. If you overcook it, well done is one thing. But if you overcook the steak, it's going to be chewy like leather. Okay, beef doesn't dry and crackle. Beef dries and turns to leather. And again, beef is really high right now, so this isn't something that, you know, you're going to make an everyday meal of. It's just not something that you would do that with. I mean, unless you're making like 6 figures a month. But, okay, so we put that steak on at 245. I don't know if you guys heard that, but there was oh, I left my tongs inside. There was a siren going by. It kind of sounded like an ambulance. All right. You want to get your tongs. So we're just gonna. I'm just gonna lift this up a little bit. Oh, that looks good. That's starting to look good. It needs a little more time, but that's starting to look good. Our temperature is holding pretty steady. We're gonna open it up a little bit more on the top. On the top, this thing here. It's usually hot, but it's not too bad. And I'm just gonna open it up a little bit. Not much, but we want a little more airflow. We want to maintain kind of a high temperature. Pomp, I see your last one, but that share referral link is over it. So until somebody else makes another comment or you put a smiley face or something in there, I won't be able to see the thing. All I can see is I kept getting. Okay, so that steak is looking pretty good. That's another thing. Don't overhandle your meat. Shut up. That sounded like a bad joke, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. Don't flip it a bunch of times. Handle it as little as you possibly can. Let it cook. It will do what it's supposed to do. I know a lot of people want to constantly be playing with it. They want to flip them over and move them around. It's a good show, but it's not necessary. In fact, it kind of detracts from the steak. Oh, hey, you guys are looking at the other steaks. Probably should have moved them out of camera view so you're not sitting there staring at raw meat, but you kept getting booted. Well, I'm not booting you, Tom. I'm not booting you, Pomp. I know, so the last few days out here, I know I have kept getting booted off of YouTube altogether. Like it would just suddenly quit working. So I don't know if that's something going on with YouTube or what's going on. Hopefully YouTube is not going nuts again like they do sometimes. All right, so back inside. We are going to flip that steak here in just a minute, and then we are going to put 2 of our other ones on. So out we go with our other steaks. If YouTube's being funny, guys, and you miss any of it, of course, you know, it'll be on YouTube, so you can always go back and try and watch it again. I wish I had a button that could just fix YouTube, because sometimes they're stupid. All right, there we go. Now we're going to put our 2 medium steaks on. Try and give everybody enough room to do their thing. No, I like mine rare, so again, mine will go on last. So I think YouTube is being funny, Mom. Now Pomp says he keeps getting booted out. So I don't know how many people will actually be able to join us. Depends on how funny YouTube's being and why. But yeah, like the last 2 or 3 days, even here yesterday, with you guys with me being connected to your Wi-Fi and everything, YouTube was booting me off some of the shows I was trying to watch. So I think this might be one of them where it winds up being more of a rewatch kind of thing. My live feeds too. Yep. Now for my cheese sauce, guys, I am going to cheat a little bit. I'm not going to make a completely homemade cheese sauce today because I have Velveeta. Velveeta makes a really good cheese sauce. Add a little bit of milk. Add a little bit of seasoning. Definitely not salt. Velveeta is very salty. And yeah, I was gonna say the only thing I'm gonna use for the cheese sauce is the Velveeta and milk, and that's it. So, guys, it sucks that YouTube's being stupid. Pomp, did you get booted again, dear? That would be why the numbers keep going up and down, because
Keep getting booted.
Yeah, they keep getting booted.
Right.
Now I'm going to cut the potatoes.
Got corn going.
So we're going to wash and then cut the potatoes. Your other ones are they're iron out. All right, so the potatoes, real simple. Hang on just a second. I'm gonna rinse them off. Be right back. So these ones, I put in a bowl. I put almost everything in a bowl. For the smaller ones, I'm just going to cut them into quarters. Actually, I am going to kind of slice them. They'll be in thirds. Not too thick. I'm only feeding 4 people today, so I don't have to worry about it being too big a meal. And then we will put oil in the bowl, and I will add some garlic for flavor. I'm not going to add a lot of garlic though, because garlic will burn under high heat conditions. And we don't want burnt garlic because it tastes like feet. Trust me, I know. I have accidentally burnt the garlic before. It was not a pleasant experience.
This is.
I've been watching it. Ain't been that long. I know, but it's going to take a little more. Remember?
I don't know. I just letting you know.
Yeah.
Because we started
as thick as those are.
2.
It's going to take a little bit more time to cook them. Somebody in a big Dodge. We got a big black Dodge pulling in.
It's actually burgundy.
That's burgundy. They're getting visitors. Actually, that's coffee brown.
Oh, that's his. That's our guy. He's come to pick up his cuckoo clock.
Oh, it's cuckoo. Had to pick up his cuckoo, huh? So Mom does dolls, and Paul does clocks and watches. The old clocks and antique clocks and watches.
Yeah, not the new.
No.
He doesn't do wristwatches.
And yeah, he doesn't do wristwatches. It's like the pocket watches. And see, I'm not even gonna add actual garlic, but just a little bit. What I mostly want is the juice, because the juice won't burn. And put a little oil. And a little salt. Because potatoes always need a little salt. And then I'm just gonna flip them around in the bowl here until they're well coated. And that's that. Now, back out to the steaks. Ma, you want to come with?
I'll make you this time. Is that what you have volume?
Yep. So now we are going to go out because our first steak actually should be close to being done. And by the time it's done resting, the rest of them should be ready to come off. There's still a little bit of blood coming out, but that's all right. It needs a little longer on that side. We are going to flip our other ones. I want you to start using your grill more often. And we are now going to place our last steak. His needs to cook a little bit longer, but we don't want it to overcook. So we're going to move it over here where it's still going to get heat. And then we're going to move these ones to the edge just a little bit. Because this rare steak has got to go right over the center mass of your fire. Because the rare steak is the one that you want heated on the inside, but you still want it nice and pink. Well, I want mine nice and bloody.
Yep.
But that's because I'm a savage beast. Yeah, I think Pomp and them, I think pretty much all of them are still getting booted. It keeps going down. It keeps going from like 3 to 1 to 3 to 1 to 3 to 1.
Yeah, and that's probably means they're getting booted.
Yeah, I think so. Because see, I believe they're back now, but it keeps going from 3 to 1 to 3 to 1.
Right.
Yeah, I think YouTube's being stupid. Guys, I wish it wasn't so. What did you put butter in my pan?
Just to know that
No, no.
I put it in.
So I know a lot of people like their buttered potatoes. I do too. But butter has a very, very, very low smoke point. Has a very low burn temperature.
Well,
And is generally not suited for longer cook times for things like potatoes. Now, eggs, I'm going to tell you right now, the best fried egg you're going to have is a fried egg and butter. But you don't have to get your pan real hot for a fried egg, and you don't have to cook it very long. So butter's okay. Things like potatoes, deep frying stuff, it's a no because it'll burn. Now we're going to go ahead and throw our cauliflower in.
The steamer.
And it's going to go into the steamer pan. Right here. And we're going to steam it for about, well, I'd do 6 minutes for cauliflower and then test it because cauliflower is a little firmer than broccoli. So it takes a little longer to steam. Yeah, you might want to turn your corn before it boils over. Wait, wrong one. All right. So that is done.
That might be the reason why that pan's not getting hot. Because I was adjusting the wrong one.
Yep. Now we've got some good heat going on with our potatoes.
But it was getting warm, so.
So our potatoes are already prepped. All we got to do is put them in the pan. Are you guys back? Does YouTube keep booting you off? Kind of wonder how much of this is actually going to make it to YouTube if YouTube's being stupid. I hope they're not going to miss pieces of it. So we're going to go check on our steaks again. Mom, which one did you say was a platter for the steaks? This one?
Yeah.
Good.
Bottoms of pan.
So we're going to keep... Oh, before we do that.
Better put the potatoes on.
Yeah, we need to get the taters on. So...
There, I'll bring this one.
Yeah, okay. You got it? All right, so we're going to go put the taters on.
As long as I stand far enough away,
Yeah.
I can unmute.
They should still be able to hear me anyway because we're inside.
Yeah.
But like if I get outside the door, then it'll be a problem. Alright, so we're gonna flat. Now we do not want to cook these too fast. I will rinse all those and get those in the dishwasher before we eat. These are scraps. We'll feed them to the critters later down by the woods. I'll walk it down there later. So we've got our cauliflower going. We've got our steaks on. We've got our potatoes going. Corn is done because it doesn't take very long. Unfortunately, we did not get to do the fresh corn on the cob. I have no idea why Mom is showing you a picture of my butt. I'm going to fiddle with this until I get it open because apparently I have issues. Oh, you know what would be really good? If you've got any in your cheese.
Just bought some.
So, Velveeta is extremely salty. Cream cheese is not. Cream cheese and Velveeta cheese make a fine dip. I see no reason why it wouldn't make as good a cheese sauce. So we're gonna do that today.
All right, well, let's take our stuff.
Yep. All right, out we go.
Out we go.
Oh, better get my steak platter because I shouldn't be done yet. So it's been a while since I've cooked like steaks as thick as these. So I'm kind of having to adjust as I go to how long to keep them on for. But I think I've just about got it. And yes, I do eye mine. Yes, I know a lot of people. Oh, thermometer. What the heck did I do with my phone? I think I probably did. All right, keep watching that. Oh, yeah. Maybe I should rename this the Scatterbrain Cook. Ah, now look at that. No, that's mostly clear juice coming out of that. So I don't know if you guys can see this.
You got it. There you go. That looks good.
That is a well done steak.
Yeah.
So we're gonna come over here because these two mediums should be pretty well done. And I want to let them brown a little bit more on that side.
Where's your knuckle test? Because those are going to be really hot to try to knuckle test.
Yeah. So, one thing, especially with a bone-in steak, is the meat will start to pull away from the bone. These are still producing some pink juice in the center.
I don't mind.
I know, but I was telling you, see where it's pulled away from the bone?
Yeah.
You can actually look down there and see that it's cooking the right temp, which means this one should be cooked to the right temp. Now, what we are going to do here is we're going to shut this back down and let them continue cooking because yours needs a couple more minutes and so does mine. Rare or not, I still want it hot in the middle.
Right.
So your knuckle test will be just like this.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Let's take it inside because I'll probably be able to see better inside where we're not glaring.
We don't have no good. Natural light's really pretty out there with my camera.
So you're gonna need to bring it in close, a little bit closer, closer. All right. So when you do your knuckle test, it should not stay down at all. See how it's rebounding extremely quickly? That's your well done steak. Now, for your medium and your rare, it's gonna bounce back slower. The slower it bounces back, the more raw it still is. Now, most people say rare is the same thing as raw.
No, it's not.
For me, my rare steak might as well be. Right, we're gonna turn these taters real quick. Yeah, they're just starting to sizzle a little bit.
Turn the temp up just a hair.
Yep, now that I know it's hot all the way across the board, we're gonna turn it up a little bit.
There you go.
And we know we don't have any hot spots. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Cauliflower's cooking, so good there.
Yep, I can smell the cauliflower. Now, for our cheese sauce, I wouldn't normally do this. Because to me, using a microwave is insanity. But I do admit that it can be handy sometimes. Especially if you're trying to rewarm stuff and you don't really know how, or you don't have the stuff to be able to rewarm it properly. Like I love my air fryer because now all of my fried leftovers I can stick in my air fryer and it will crisp it all back up. So we're going to use, see, this is a 16-ounce package of Velveeta cheese, New Rochelle, if that is something you're familiar with. Basically, it's just a soft cheese. And then we are going to use half of that. So we'll use 8 ounces of the Velveeta. This will work a lot better if you actually cube it. It'll melt more evenly. You don't have to, but again, it'll melt more evenly if you cut it into cubes or slices. So we got you got 8 ounces of Velveeta, the soft cheese. And honestly, you can use any flavor you want. It's going to be your cheese sauce. You're going to be eating it. And then we're going to use half of, or a quarter of, an 8-ounce package. So you're going to use 2 ounces of the cream cheese. This will help it stay creamier, and it will also take away some of the real saltiness. Again, not all soft cheeses, I don't think all soft cheeses are as salty as Velveeta, but Velveeta is salty. Might even be worse than canned cheese. Joking, it's not worse than canned cheese. Right. What's that pimple on, Mom? I'm looking for the bottom of my box. So we're going to wrap this back up. I'll put it back in its original packaging because that's what it was meant to be stored in. And back in the refrigerator it goes. This is really soft cheese, so once you get what you want of it, especially if it's warm like it is today, you're going to definitely want to put it back in the refrigerator. Not for that. Alright, let me see the cookie. We're going to do the poke test, people. No, we need to leave that on. We're going to have to turn that. We're going to have to leave it turned down, basically. Just take a little bit to cook. Alright, so we've tested the taters. They're not quite done yet. Now, so we've got our 8 ounces of the soft yellow cheese. We've got 2 ounces of cream cheese. And now we are going to pour in about a cup of milk. Okay, I'm eyeballing it. I'd say use at least a half a cup, and if you need more, add more. And this will go in the microwave. And we're going to microwave it in 1-minute intervals. Mom's being yelled at by her cats. I don't know if you guys heard that. Alright, now we're going to check our cauliflower. Again, we're going to do a poke test. If it's tender when we poke into it, we know it's good. If it's still hard, basically you cook it to your liking. It is to my liking at this moment, so I'm going to pull it off the heat. I'm going to recover it partially so it doesn't cool off too fast. All right, now. What do you think, Mom?
Cooking with gas.
I think we are too. Actually, we're cooking with Choco. So, back out to test our steaks. Oh, yeah, I think they're done. So, Ma, you want to come out with me?
Yep.
2 shakes of a lamb's tail? That's an old saying in this part of the country. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. That means they'll be there pretty dang quick.
Expect your taters.
Yes, I turned them back down. Now we're gonna go out and we're gonna get the rest of the steaks because all right. So I'm gonna put Paul's all the way on one end. It's gonna be for a little while, but that's why it's resting. Because you don't. That's another thing about cooking a steak. So you got to know when to pull it off. Your steak will continue to cook after you've pulled it off. So you actually want to pull it off a little under, because as it rests, it will continue to cook. So I'm gonna leave the grill thing all the way open. And I'm gonna leave the bottom vents all the way open, peoples, because that will allow the charcoal to finish burning off. But also while it's doing that, it will allow for it'll allow for the heat to cook any bits that are left on the grill. And then we can just scrape it off. Use the grill scraper thingy. Yeah, you know, that thing. The thing with the thing that does the thing. We know how that is.
That thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been one. That's been one around here for a while, Sarah. The 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Yeah, that's
shake.
Yep. So we should be pretty well done with our cooking. Other than with the cheese sauce. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna check this cheese. It's melted a little bit. And we're gonna give it a little bit of a stir.
That's Mom making funny noises in the background.
Yeah, well, you always make funny noises.
At least I'm not.
Yeah, thankfully. Pretty sure nobody on my there's not a whole lot of people on here, but I'm pretty sure the ones that are on here don't want to hear you back.
No. Hey, as Papa says, there's more room out here than there is in here.
Well, this is true, but still.
It's just one of those natural things.
Nobody really wants to hear it, though. No. Okay, so. I'm going to turn this sideways, guys. No, I'm not going to turn this sideways. So, me and my mom decided to do this. I guess my daughter has decided she's not going to come down.
No, she's not going to come and play.
That's okay. Well, I mean, I kind of understand. Those are going to need to be turned off. Right, that's why I'm turning them off. They should have been, or actually, I don't think I put them in early enough. They should have been earlier. Even the best of us make mistakes. Yep, that's what I said. Even the best of us make mistakes. I should have started those potatoes probably about 10 minutes before I did, and I should have kept them on a low temperature because I forgot that the yellow potatoes are a softer potato, so they've got to be cooked at a lower temperature. So the cheese sauce is starting to come together. You're 46, Sarah? Yeah, I'm not far behind you. Am I 41 or 42? I was born in 84.
You're 41.
Okay. I can't remember how old I am. I'm 41.
She's 41.
I thought I was 42 already.
No, you're 41.
Okay, so I'll be 42 this coming January.
Right. Yeah. And
Takes a pretty big scattered brain to forget how old they are. And I'm not even that worried about it. I like my age.
Me too.
So.
I just turned 6.
Woman. Well, if I was going to make a sauce out of it, I'd have told you to keep it anyway.
That's right. We're not making sauces today. So
no, not today.
We're good.
Okay, so cheese sauce is cooking. Potatoes are getting done. Our steaks are off the grill. So, what I will probably do, because we need to let them rest. Mom, if you want to go ahead and pull that cake out of the oven and get the oven warm, and then we can hold our steaks in there until the rest of it's done. No, it's still too hot. Yeah, I mean, the thing is still too hot. They would basically like bake in there. So that's why I was thinking, get it warmed up to about 150. I think your oven has a warm setting, don't it? Well, Sarah, I always try to make sure that, because I love cooking, I love sharing the cooking. I like sharing the knowledge I have about cooking to make other people's experience cooking better. I also know that in this day and age, there are not as many of us out there who have learned to really cook the homemade stuff like I did from our grandmothers and our moms who learned from their mothers. So I'm basically just trying to pass down all the stuff that my mom and my grandmothers taught me, which is also why I encourage anybody. It doesn't even matter if it's a question about what I'm making. If you have a question about anything as far as cooking goes, ask. And if I know the answer, I will tell you, and I will probably give you more of an answer with more of an in-depth explanation than you would expect.
Because we like to talk.
I like to talk about cooking. I don't necessarily just like to talk. I like to talk about cooking, though. And music. I love music. Yeah, music, history, art, everything but math. Cooking is my passion, though. It is a way I figured out when I was having kids to basically allow my creative side out, because you can do a lot with cooking and you can actually get real creative with it. And you know how you take a bunch of melodies and you make music? Do the same thing with flavors. You take a bunch of flavors, you put them together, you make them work well with each other, and it's like a fine melody for your favorite song.
Yep.
And there are some dishes that if you make them the day before,
they're better the second time around.
They're better the second day. Your soups, your stews, your bean dishes, all of those things, if you make them the night before and then you serve them the next day, they're going to be a lot better than if you serve them the same day. I mean, not that they're not going to be good, but they'll be better the second day.
Because everything has a chance to
Yes.
actually meld together.
But that's
and-
why back in the old days, people used to put stuff like soups and stews on slow and low and let it basically kind of simmer together all day because it achieved the same thing.
Yep.
So our cheese
That's
sauce
all
is
it
done.
Okay.
Just a nice little creamy cheese sauce. So we're going to let it sit there until I get a bowl for cauliflower. Right, cauliflower goes in the bowl. We're going to let it sit for a minute. Let it dry a little bit because that way it will.
No, it was steamed. It wasn't boiled. So
Right, but you want to let a little of the condensation out because otherwise it will make your cheese sauce runny. Oh, I love to bake. Baking is one of my favorite things to do, but cooking, there's nothing better than putting work into doing something you love and then getting to enjoy the results.
Yes.
It's kind of like if you were a carpenter and you built your own house.
yes.
You get to enjoy the results of your labor.
Yep.
Same thing with cooking. You put the effort in, and then you enjoy the results of your labor. And with cooking,
You get to eat it.
kind of like with building a house, you can share it with your family.
That's right.
So you make them happy too.
Happy Mother's Day to all of you women's out there. Men's out there.
To
And
all
some
the
people-
mothers out in YouTube land, happy Mother's Day. I hope your day has been as good as mine. What were you going to ask, Mom?
I wasn't going to ask. I was going to make a statement.
Oh.
Some people think it odd that you say Happy Mother's Day to the men out there, but there are some single men raising their children, so they get
Well,
to
I don't
enjoy.
say no. I don't say Happy Mother's Day to a single father. I say Happy Father's Day.
Yes,
They don't say Happy Mother's Day. They don't say Happy Father's Day to single moms. I don't
I
say
do.
Happy Father's Day to single dads.
I do.
Moms and dads both have their own days.
That's right.
Whether you're a single parent or not, we have our own day. I'm not going to take away from the mothers by congratulating a father on Father's Day, just like I'm not going to take away from the fathers by congratulating a mother on their day.
Right. Well, I do, but that's my choice.
Well, you're a little weird too.
I know. I am kind of strange.
And you would hug a fence post if you thought it was sad. So
I would. Yes, I would.
I know. I know.
So
It's-
I'm just your different type of person. So
You are.
it's all okay.
I love you anyway.
You better. I raised you. I had you. I birthed you.
Yeah, as I say, you gave birth to me, so
Yes.
I know you're a good mom, which is why I love you. Because I know there's moms out there that aren't so good, but I had a good one. So
I
all right,
at
now
least in my older days.
yeah, we all learn.
Don't we though? There's no book, unfortunately.
No, there is no book on child rearing.
No. Somebody tried and it turned out disastrous because all children are different.
I think it was Freud.
I wasn't even gonna go there.
I'll go there. Freud was a quack when it come to raising kids, anyway.
But I think it was him. I'm not
Yes,
sure
it was
who
Freud. The Freudian method.
Anyway, yeah.
The
So
one that started out with the whole having to ask permission to change your kid diaper. That's where that started, was Freud.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's the one that started the lack of common sense, basically turning control over to your infant child on how to rear them. I'm sorry. Kids are all different. People should know this.
Yes.
You handle each kid differently.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's look at our meal, guys.
Hold on a minute.
Put your taters on the plate.
They're not done yet. That's what I'm waiting on.
I'm giving you
That's
that.
who I learned to bake from, was my grandma. Well, my Mima. My grandma was the one that I learned a lot of my practical cooking skills from. Mima was the one that I really learned to bake from. Not that
Mima
Mima
is-
couldn't cook.
Mima's my mom.
Yeah, Mima is my mom's mom. My grandma is God rest her. She passed away in 2002, long time ago, over
Mhm.
20 years ago now.
Mhm.
She was in her 80s. She had a good long life.
Mhm.
My dad was the baby of the family, so
Of 9.
No, he was the baby of 8.
8.
Yeah, and there was like 2 or 3 years between him and Uncle Mark. So he was born in 63. Grandma was born in 29.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Big family.
Yes. My grandma was the oldest of 12.
Yeah.
Her mom. Wow.
Yeah.
Apparently she retained her sanity until her old age.
Apparently.
I don't know how she did it with 12 kids. And an old man to raise. Are you kidding?
Yep. Grandma Upton?
Martin was grandma's maiden name. Upton was her mama's maiden name.
Yeah, that's why I said Grandma Upton.
Yeah, Grandma Upton. She married Paul Martin and had 12 kids. A lot of kids.
A lot of kids.
Yes. All right, so let's see. I am going to take this time because we have just a couple of minutes. I'm gonna go back and smoke a cigarette.
Okay. You go back and chit chat. I'm gonna set the table.
Okay. If you want to, Mom, you can go ahead and pull your video. Sorry, guys. Okay, so guest. Yep. All right. So Mom is going to set the table while we wait for the taters to finish cooking. I'm going to go up and let my kid know that dinner will be ready in a few minutes. Up the stairs we go. I don't like stairs. Makes my knees crackle and pop. Hey, kiddo. You want to say hi?
No.
Well,
Who is it?
They can't see you. The camera's on me. Just say hi, everybody.
Also, John's on the phone.
Okay. Hi, John. Hey, what's up? Not much. We're getting ready to eat here in a few minutes.
What is it?
T-bones. Cauliflower. Yes, I kept some separate for you. Corn and fried taters. About 5 minutes, 6 minutes. About long enough for me to smoke cigarettes. All we got left. Okay. Oh. So I'm going to try and talk so you guys don't hear my knees crackle and pop like Rice Krispies. We'll go out here and sit in the shade. So that is about it. This kind of stuff I like to do. Hopefully I will be able to get back to doing this, or at least putting more videos out. I am probably going to end here pretty soon. Because my tummy is rumbling and that food looks really good. So once I get done smoking my cigarette, I am going to go ahead and go. Hopefully whatever that YouTube is having, it doesn't interrupt me being able to have this posted up. And hopefully it doesn't skip anything. Like, hopefully you guys don't miss parts of it. But I'll go back and watch it just to make sure. It did get pretty warm today. Let's see, that's what I like, Sarah. I like to cook. I enjoy cooking. That's why I do it for a living. Unfortunately, because I am back to doing it for a living, it's kind of long hours sometimes. And there are days when I just don't feel like using my day off to make a cooking video. But I'm pretty much getting used to my schedule now, so hopefully I'll be able to get back into doing that. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Sarah. Like I said, I know the Ouija Brothers, or was it Ghosts on Trent? One of them had a premiere, which I did not know, but it wouldn't really have stopped me anyway because I have fun doing this with my mom. Wish I could have got my daughter to come in on it, but she doesn't really like the cameras, so that was going to be iffy on that one anyway. She don't like cameras, doesn't really like being up in front of people. But I am going to go ahead and sign off here in just a few minutes. I know we got started a little bit early, but honestly, I don't know how to not make it go live while I'm trying to get it set up for live. So hopefully I'll be able to work that out. That way it doesn't show live until I'm ready for it to. Because I think that's where I lost some people. Yeah, it can be a little bit hard. But I don't mind. I enjoy my customers too. They're all pretty respectful. They don't get out of hand. Which if they did, they'd get banned. They'd get barred. So they wouldn't be able to come back in. That's one thing I like about my boss. He doesn't tolerate any kind of crap. You make trouble once and that's it. You're out. And it doesn't even have to be that bad of trouble. Just make trouble once and that's it. You're gone. You're done. So anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and finish my cigarette and get off here. I really enjoyed it. I think hopefully anybody that wanted to catch it that didn't catch it live will be able to go back and rewatch it. Like I said, I'm hoping the problems with YouTube didn't translate into skipping in my video. And like I said, anytime that I'm live and you guys have got questions, it doesn't matter whether it's on the dish that I'm making. If I can answer them, I will. Suggestions for dishes would be welcome. Sometimes I run out of ideas. I've got a couple that I still want to try though. One of them's a bread dish, and it kind of reminds me of an inside-out pizza, but it looks like it's going to be better than that. So hopefully it will. Hopefully it'll turn out just as good as it looks. And then there's a beef and pasta dish that I still want to try. I've got hot cross buns on the agenda, so we'll see how well that goes. I had a brain fart and forgot what it was I was going to say. Must not have been that important. But love you guys. It's almost time to eat, and I am hungry. So have a fantastic Mother's Day, and I will hopefully see you guys in the near future.